What's going on, guys? It's Will Kelly with Military Lawn Cuts, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the 3 stages of growth when going from 0 to 7 figures, aka $1 million in your business. Now this is going to be for the business owner or manager for the operational side when you are building a company and what that looks like. So the very first stage is going to be from 0 to $150,000, okay? So this is when you are just getting off the ground. Let's go A. So 0 to $150,000, you're just getting the business off the ground. You created the business, LLC, you bought your first truck, you bought your equipment, you're out there selling. If you didn't watch my video, I just did a video of 5 ways to market from 0 basically to 600,000. The levers that we use to build our company. But in this stage, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. So number 1, the thing that is going to get you to this, right here is a delta, all right, from 0 to 150,000. To get through this delta right here, what you're going to need is physical brute force. You are going to have to push through. You're gonna want to quit. You're gonna be physically exhausted as well as mentally, but mainly it's going to be physical exhaustion that you're going to reach. And it's going to be very painful, very, very painful to get through this part while growing your mowing business because to be quite frank, it's you, yourself, you are the business. Everything falls on you. If you're sick and you're not there, the business stops, okay? So this is brute force. Let me actually put it over here. So we're gonna stem this off and say brute force. Now, the other thing that 0 to 150,000 is one of the biggest key things that you need to focus on is going to be sales, all right? Now, this is really important because we're growing top line. It really doesn't matter what your prices are. You want people to book with your service. Anywhere around a 60 to an 80% close ratio is where you want to be, all right? So out of 3 customers, as long as 2 out of the 3 are accepting your quotes, you are in the clear. You're growing this thing as quickly and efficiently as possible. If you go out and do 3 quotes and only 1 book, you either need to A, lower your pricing, or B, provide better quality of service to that customer. So we want to grow this as quickly as possible using sales. And I've done obviously videos in the past on like what that entails. But at this point, you're not only doing the work, pushing the mower, treating the lawn, trimming the bushes, but you're also communicating to the customers. You're getting in front of them and you're upselling other services. When you go out and you do a mow job and the guy comes out, you say, hey, I noticed you need some mulch. You know, we can do that for you. We can take care of you. How would you like a quote for that? I'm here now. I can put together a quote for you. You're constantly selling. When you do estimates, when you're on a physical job and you need more work, you're doing 5-around door hangers. You're hitting the neighbors with door hangers so you can build route density. You're constantly selling your services to get you to $150,000. All right, the last key to this, and it does go with brute force, but guys, you just need some sure hustle here. You need to grind, you need to put the work in, and it's gonna be 12-hour days constantly to get you to that point where you are fully operational. You got maybe a part-time helper with you, but brute force, sales, and hustle is what's gonna get you from 0 to $150,000. So the next stage in business is going to be from $150,000 to $500,000. Now, a good friend of mine, Mike Andes, calls this the wilderness, and there's a reason why. Because at this point, you didn't have much, if any, employees. When you get to this part right here, this journey, you now have to hire employees. You cannot do it all yourself. You'll burn yourself out and you'll feel like you want to quit. We've all been there, all right? This is the wilderness because when you're up here, there's more profit. You are the only one, you're the most efficient, you know exactly what you're doing. The minute you start hiring a couple of employees down here, you lose lack of quality. They're not going to care about it as much as you. You lose efficiency. They're not going to work as hard as you or be as efficient as hard as you. So there are some ways to battle that, which I'm not going to go into at this very time. All right, so the few things that I want to talk about between 150,000 and 500,000 that are worth noting is this is where your leadership needs to grow, right? So when you start having a team underneath you, whether that be 1, 2, 3, or 4 employees, you have to now show up at the office on time every single day. You have to now lead your team by example, because if you don't, how do you expect them to? This is where your leadership, you have to take to the next level. The way that you speak to your team, being respectful. And, you know, I'm not perfect at it. Obviously, there's times where I mess up also. But this is where you're going to grow your leadership significantly in this phase, because you're going to have a team of 3, 4, 5 team members that look up to you, and you're now like the head of the octopus, and you have your legs, and all of them come and report back to you. And what you do, you can duplicate to your team. So that way, you can duplicate what you want. If you're showing up to the office late and you're getting a ton of yellow slips, what do you think your team's going to do? Oh, that's the example that we need to follow. They're going to do the exact same thing. So definitely keep that in mind. All right, number 2, your character. So again, this goes back to being a leader. But a character is who you are internally, what you believe, what your non-negotiables are, what you stand on, what your foundation is, all right? They are going to look at you and your character as you are their leader. You are their leader that they look up to. And if you have a poor character and you don't have a high self-image and you don't speak with authority, how are you going to have people that follow you? You're not. And you're going to have constant churn in your business. You need to be that coach or mentor for your team, which leads me into my last point here, is you now become a coach, all right? When you start adding these team members on your team, it's not just transactional. They're becoming part of your work family. You can't just look at them as a number. They're your team. They're your well-being. I mean, they support your food on the table. You support their food on the table. It's a win-win relationship. And so you now become a coach or a mentor in their life. So when they're going through, in which they will, personal problems in their life, that now becomes yours. You have to speak into them and lift them up and walk them through those issues and problems and those personal things that they're dealing with, so that way it doesn't affect them at work, or it doesn't affect their actions when they get home. Being a coach and a mentor is a huge responsibility, and it definitely comes in this realm of 150,000 to 500,000. Now, the last thing we are going to talk about is the journey from 500K to $1 million in revenue, all right? This, I'll tell you right now, because we are in the process, is, my friend, a journey, all right? What I can speak on, because we have 2 lawn care companies and we're in the process of building this at the moment, what I can tell you right now is the biggest thing for me that I've noticed is there are two things that will make or break this $500 to $1 million. The first thing is going to be education, all right? I see so many business owners that plateau around this 500, 600 mark, but the key is to continue to educate yourself. Seek guidance from people that are where you want to be, that are doing 7 figures here. Education and courses and mentorship and coaching calls. Keep reaching out to people that are here so they can help lift you up and hopefully deter you from a lot of the pain and the problems that they faced in their journey from 500 to 1 million, because it is a grind. It is a sure grind. The last key, which is the most important thing, is going to be your systems, right? Now I'm going to break this down a little bit, because one could argue that systems need to be built at 150,000 to 500,000. Although I agree with that statement to a degree, I feel as though somebody can use brute force and plow their way through $500,000. Why? Because I basically did that in our first, second, and then third year in our business. We plowed through. We didn't have all the systems in place, but I had sheer brute force and hustle and grind to get to my goal where we wanted to go. When you get to this point, at this point, there must be systems in place. I believe that at this point, when you get to 500,000, towards the end of it, like that 400 to 500,000, you're starting to figure out, oh snap, okay, we do have to do it this way in the field because we've done this 100 times over. This is how it should be done. And then you start to build some of that blueprint out. So it starts to become black and then gray and then more clear, right? Like you start to see it more clearly towards the $400,000, $500,000 mark. When I'm talking about this right here, this $500 to $1 million in sales, the systems that I'm talking about is the office and the admin systems specifically. This is assuming that out in the field you have now learned a few times that, okay, this is how we need to do it this way, and we've got our systems in the field somewhat sculpted, all right? The systems in the admin now need to be created. That is what I'm dealing with right now through education and systems on the office side, and fine-tuning those things is what is going to make or break a company that gets to $1 million. If you found value in this video, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I have found that 80% of the people that view these videos are not subscribed. Guys, support the channel, support the content. I do this completely free. Click that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.